Hey there, folks. John, aka Biddy Kong here, and when Nintendo first announced the Switch, they announced a few games. You had stuff like Blaster Master Zero on the Virtual Console. You had Zelda, of course. You had Mario Kart 8. But one of the ones that was really interesting to me, and I honestly, didn't think I was gonna like, was ARMS. And for the past couple weekends, Nintendo has been running the ARMS Testpunch, which is basically a demo of the game where you can play online just with random people. So I finally got a chance to jump into that last night, and you know what? I think it actually might be a success. So this is a video, really just giving some thoughts on it and telling you what I think. So here we go. Okay, so like I said, the ARMS Testpunch happened this past weekend, and actually the weekend before. I didn't get a chance to actually jump in on this thing really until yesterday, and that was really the only time for the entire thing that I had. So, I made the most of my hour. And honestly, when I went into this, I was expecting, you know what, hey, that looks kind of cool. It looks very Nintendo. That's a term, Nintendo, I suppose. But it looks very Nintendo, but I was kind of just expecting a glorified Wii boxing with, punches that go further, right? So I was actually really pleasantly surprised. I didn't think that I was actually going to enjoy it all that much, but I wanted to give it a fair shake because it is coming out in 2 weeks. And honestly, I wanted to know if I needed to pre-order it on Amazon. And I'm happy to say that I actually had a really good time for that hour, and I was really annoyed when they shut off the servers and they cut me out, and I had to stop playing. So just to give you an idea of what the game is, basically, you go in and you select a fighter, and I'm sure there's not going to be some crazy story mode or something like that. It's really very arcadey, not a whole lot of lore and that sort of thing going on. But basically, you go in, you select a fighter, and for the Testpunch, there were 8 fighters, and there actually are, I think, 2 more that I saw in like the demo. But really, all of them work relatively the same. It seems like they all have, you can go in, and each fighter has a set of 3 different arms or fists that they can attach to their arms to do special moves. You got one that's got like a triple attack. You got one that shoots a little bird. The ninja guy has a chakram, which you can fire these little projectiles after the punch is already thrown. There's a mech one that has a hammer. There's all kinds of different ones. So that I thought was actually pretty cool. I was expecting it just to be basically you got your fists and you start punching people and that's it. Now, what I think is really, really cool is, honestly, my favorite part is the control scheme. And they make you use what's called the thumbs up grip. And actually, I think I've got these reversed. The thumbs up grip, which is basically you hold your Joy-Cons like this. And the buttons that you actually use to control the game are the shoulder buttons. So you've got jump, dash, and then you've got a special attack over here. And you're really just using your thumbs the entire time. It's almost like you've got joysticks in your hands. And then you've actually got your fists up and you're actually punching, and it tracks your movement fairly well, actually. And then what also was really cool is you can punch and then twist the control stick, or not the control stick, the Joy-Con, and it'll actually make your punch curve, and you can get around people's punches that way. You punch them both out at the same time, it grabs, that sort of thing. So really innovative control scheme, and I have to say, I was not expecting it to be quite that active, and my arms are killing me today. Like, I am like so sore. It was a pretty good workout, so that was a lot of fun. I normally don't really like motion controls that much. The Skyward Sword motion controls were cool for all of about an hour, and then I was just annoyed with them, that sort of thing. So I was actually really, really surprised that I liked that. But if you're not a motion control kind of person, you can actually hook up the dog ear controller, or just hook them onto the Switch or whatever, and you can play like you would with a normal controller as well. You can do that. Honestly, I think it's kind of half the fun is playing with those motion controls. So I actually, like I said, was really, really impressed with ARMS, and really good variety of game types, actually. You had, even in just the short hour that I played, there was like a team battle against like a computer-controlled like super thing that had like 8 arms. There was a target competition where you smash a bunch of targets. There was even a basketball game where you're trying to basically slam dunk your opponent into the hoop more times than they can slam dunk you just by grabbing them. There's 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, free-for-alls, that sort of thing as well. And honestly, for a demo, even just like an online beta for an hour. There was a ton of stuff going on, and I was actually really impressed with that. So I think Nintendo's done a really good job here with this IP. I'm not sure it's going to catch on quite the way Splatoon did, but I kind of hope that it does, because it's actually a really cool idea. And I'm hoping it's not like the Wonderful 101, if you remember that from the Wii U. Really cool game, kind of a weird control scheme. It did work once you got used to it. But, really not a lot of people bought the Wonderful 101, even though it was a really good game, because of that weird control scheme. And I'm kind of hoping that ARMS is it the same way. But, it's very Nintendo. We'll see. You never really know what's going to catch on as a Nintendo game, right? So, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But that said, my verdict on ARMS, and again, this is just an impression based on the ARMS Testpunch. This is not a full review, because most of the game modes were grayed out. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot I could do other than just play with people online. But my initial impressions are, I went from really being kind of curious about the game, not really wanting it, expecting it to kind of be just something that I was just like, gonna pass over and go on to the next thing when Splatoon comes out. I went from that to like really wanting this game and pre-ordering it basically as soon as I stopped playing, because it was just a ton of fun. And again, I also played the one-player mode. I imagine with two people in the same room, this is probably really a fun game. I mean, it's probably really easy to actually hit your opponent, because your arms are going everywhere. But anyways, so I actually really like this game. And my verdict on it is, if you like sports games, but if you like fighting games, if you just like Nintendo stuff, I mean, it's one of the most Nintendo things I've played in a long time. And if you're a long-time Nintendo fan, you kind of know what that means. But if you like that kind of stuff, man, this thing is right up your alley, and I definitely would recommend checking it out. So that's about all I got for right now. So, if you like this video, go ahead, throw me a like on there. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'd really appreciate it. And you know what? Did you play the Testpunch? Is that something that you did, that you got involved in? If you did, comment below. Tell me how you felt about it. What did you think? Do you think I'm dead wrong? Do you think it was dumb? Or do you think it's actually going to be pretty cool like I do? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great night.